Now at 6 o'clock, new information about the man detained by ICE last week in Yamhill County. ICE says his past includes a DUI conviction, but the DA's office says it has no record of that. We have a live report on this from Newburgh coming up in our top story.
And Oregon leaders condemn the deadly shooting of a Minnesota state senator and her husband.
Targeted political attack that happened is so incredibly troubling.
We have the latest on the suspect and his pending charges.
And we'll also bring you the latest on the wildfire that continues to burn this morning in Central Oregon in Jefferson County. All that coming up here as the 6 o'clock hour of sunrise starts right now.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Tuesday. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney, back from a little vacation.
Yeah.
A little more than a week, Rod Hill.
Thank goodness.
Yes, a big vacation it was.
It was something, Rod. But we're back, ready to go the entire summer now, which, by the way, officially arrives this weekend.
Yeah, Friday, 9 o'clock hour in the evening. And don't forget to plan your schedule around rain developing Friday and what could be just an all-out rainy Saturday, or certainly more wet than not. But for today, we're going to enjoy beautiful weather. Here's Snook Winds Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City. Kind of a partly cloudy start. You see the blue water there. 46 is the number. Again, relatively cool out this morning. There's the rising sun from the Chehalem Tasting Room in Sherwood. Looking out over the vineyard, 47 degrees. PDX is now sitting at 53. We will be sunny all day and should have a light wind today as well. 68 degrees at noon. High temperature could just get up to 80 degrees. That's your forecast.
Thank you, Rod. And your time is 6:01. We have a traffic alert for you. The left and middle lane of I-5 South over the Markham Bridge is closed right now due to a crash. You can see that right there on your screen as police go to help out the situation there. So be careful and budget a little extra time if you're headed that way.
We have an update for you this morning on the man detained by federal immigration authorities last week in Yamhill County. A spokesperson for ICE said in addition to not being a U.S. citizen, that man, who owns a vineyard servicing company, also has a criminal conviction for DUI.
But the Yamhill County District Attorney's Office says it found no records to back up that claim. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us live in Newburgh. So Thomas, what more do we know?
Well, guys, family tells us that 54-year-old Moises Sotelo Casas was arrested right outside this church last Thursday. And it's not just over a previous possible arrest where there's conflicting information. In a statement, an ICE spokesperson told KGW that Sotelo Casas first entered the United States illegally in 2006, was arrested by U.S. Border Patrol that resulted in an expedited removal to Mexico. Though Sotelo Casas' family tells us he's been here since the 90s. He is a citizen of Mexico, but recently began the legal immigration process under the Biden administration. Again, while ICE claims Sotelo Casas was convicted of a DUI, the Yamhill County District Attorney's Office found no records corroborating that. KGW also only found a few minor traffic violations under his name when searching court records. According to ICE, Sotelo Casas is in an immigration detention site in Tacoma, Washington, and will remain there until his removal. Though his daughter says she still hasn't received an explanation on why her father was detained.
We're just simply scared because now that one parent is down, as a family, we can't afford for another parent to go down, and should that happen, it will be a very, very big toll on our family.
Again, while filing and looking over court documents ourselves, we were unable to find any documentation that he has been arrested in the past for a DUI. KGW did find instances where Sotelo Casas did receive speeding tickets. He did pay those off and have those records dealt with. Guys.
Thomas, thank you. In the meantime, some people arrested outside Portland's ICE facility on Saturday are now facing federal charges.
We're also hearing from people who live near that ICE facility along the south waterfront. Here's KGW's Joe Ranieri with that story.
It was a different scene outside the ICE facility on Monday morning than what we saw this weekend. Instead of sounds of flashbangs and tear gas, it was replaced by nail guns.
These things happen in Portland quite a bit, I've noticed. So,
talk with residents who've been living with the protests.
Very noisy, very animated. There's a lot of people, a lot of protests during the day, and then at night.
It's just been constant. Like, we're seeing red gases, green gases, which when we Googled that was chlorine.
They'll tell you it's been awful, especially over the weekend, where there were multiple rallies, including the No Kings rally that brought 50,000 people to the downtown area. Many of the people who live at Gray's Landing couldn't even leave because the crowds got so large.
We have air conditioning and we can't put our air conditioning on. It gets so hot in that building because of the tear gas coming in. And
if they could leave, they had nowhere to go.
I don't have a car. This is our only way of getting out of the area. It's that north-south streetcar. And when that tears off down there, they shut it down. So we have no way of getting out of here.
Cindy, who's lived at Gray's Landing for almost a year, says she's not against the fight they have out there.
I don't agree with all the snatching the people off the street by ICE, but, don't make the rest of us suffer for it,
But she wants the people who gather to get their message out in a peaceful way.
I think all this is wrong, but I'm from the generation of Martin Luther King, okay? You protest, but not in violence.
Joe Ranieri, KGW News.
By the way, the company that manages those apartments says it's working to improve the building's HVAC system so tear gas doesn't get inside.
In North Portland, fire crews responded quickly and put out a large grass fire that sparked before 7 last night near a warehouse on North Columbia. Crews say that the fire spread to a wooden storage shed on the warehouse's property. The fire was under control within an hour. No injuries were reported. No word on the cause.
In Salem, a large fire erupted on a train trestle, sending thick smoke into the air that could be seen all across the city. Officials say the fire started near Commercial Street Southeast yesterday morning, but was quickly knocked down. The extent of the damage is still not clear, but we know that no structures were impacted besides that trestle. There's also no word yet on the cause.
A wildfire burning in Central Oregon has prompted evacuation orders in Jefferson County. The Alder Springs fire is burning west of Crooked River Ranch. That's to the northwest of Redmond and to the southwest of Madras. Level 3 go now evacuations are in place for some areas east and south of Canyon Steelhead Falls. As of last update, the fire, which sparked Monday morning, has burned 2,500 acres and is 0% contained. The governor and state fire marshal's office have called in more resources to fight the flames.
The Rowena fire, burning just west of the Dalles, is now 37% contained. It's also burned more than 3,500 acres. Officials have lowered all level 3 evacuations in that area, so people who had to leave their homes for days can now go back. We spoke to one Rowena resident whose home survived, but their neighbor wasn't as lucky.
Survivor's guilt. Well, shouldn't be here. Those houses I thought would go last. These ones I thought would go first. So I feel guilty.
Again, even though this fire is still burning, the Oregon Department of Forestry says it doesn't expect it to grow any larger. All right, Rod, can we talk about the weather conditions there? Because obviously that has an impact on those fires.
Yeah, more than 50 homes lost in that Rowena fire that broke out Tuesday night, about a week ago, into Wednesday morning of last week. Well, the news moving forward on that fire, as you just heard, is largely very good. Containment numbers have grown 37%. The fire hasn't really grown itself or spread since, I think, at least Friday of last week. So crews seem pretty confident that they've got a handle on that. Yesterday, by the way, this is the Oregon Veterans Home camera out in the Dalles, showing not much smoke out there in Wasco County, east of the fire, 58 degrees. Yesterday, there were 40-mile-per-hour winds in that area, and they were still able to make improvement from the northwest. Gusty winds in the gorge from the west-northwest expected again today. That Alder Springs fire in Jefferson County, the wind forecast is just light, calm. So hopefully we'll get some good news on that a little bit later today as well. It is a dry day. Everybody gets sunshine. Low cloudiness this morning, holding out to sea at the beach. So you folks will start with sun. Here's a nice view looking out over the valley from the Oregon Garden Resort down in Silverton. And we're all looking at the early morning blue sky. There it is over the West Hills from the Providence Park camera. 50 degrees, light winds should be the theme today. 47 in Beaverton, 49 Gresham, 45 up in Battleground. Similar numbers that we have stepped out into the last couple of starts. 47 down in Albany. Forecast map today is all dry and it's warming up. I mean, not hot, but warming up. 80s in Central Oregon, 82 in Bend. This is a 5 o'clock temperature map, 84 Pendleton, 80 in Portland, and then generally speaking, getting up to about 60, 62 again today along the coast. Here's the 7-day, and we have some things coming our way. So today we enjoyed the sun. We warm up to 80. It was 78 yesterday. Tomorrow morning, don't forget, solid marine push of clouds. One of those cloudy mornings that could produce some light moisture out of the cloud deck, and then eventually some gradual clearing. Temperature is only around 70. Could be some early clouds, I'm not sure, Thursday, but otherwise sunny skies developing about 72, nice and comfortable. And then the rain is on track to develop Friday. Again, this is a big upper level low. It's moving in to the northwest. So this is widespread wet weather Friday overnight. Saturday may or may not see a lingering shower chance on Sunday, and that is your forecast.